Guys, we have about 5 minutes left if you want to ask any other questions. One more here.
I just wanted to ask you,
Yes, ma'am.
the gentleman that you escaped with, have you kept in contact with them? Are they alive?
Now, amazingly enough, we did for about 6 months, and then it started dropping off. We went the 3 different directions when we flew out of Washington. Pardon me, the 6 of us went in 6 different directions. They were so anxious to get us home. They gave us almost like private planes, CAA planes.
So you haven't seen him since?
I haven't seen them since. No.
You seem so together mentally after going what you've gone through. Do you have a support group or anything like that helps you to talk about?
Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm also an atomic veteran. I've been at Desert Rock, Nevada for 2 major explosions. Atomic testing.
Most World War II veterans just went their own way,
Yeah,
and very
actually,
seldom
it's amazing.
talk about at any kind of a session like this, and just keep to themselves. In fact, there's a book written by Tom Brokaw recently.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Yeah, and that has numerous stories in it, very much like Jim is talking about, and it's really recommended reading.
That was on the New York Times bestseller for 6 weeks.
So just basically, but talking about it to the family or whatever, because I'm sure you've seen a lot of things that are never going to leave your mind that must have really been treacherous. So you basically just talk about it with your family. And
That's why I adore my wife, who now has Alzheimer's disease. In other words, she's had Alzheimer's for years now, and she was my hero. She took care. I was gone from her out of. I had 21 years service. I had 19 and a half years of combat duty.
Wow.
I mean, troop duty.
Yeah.
7 different combat divisions. You name it, I've been there. All the Black Sea area, Yalta, flying back to the United States from Moscow, all across Europe, Philippine Islands, Guam, Okinawa, Japan 4 different times. Well, our one son was in a hospital 2 times in Japan. I flew over there to see him because we thought he was going to die, and one was blinded. Iceland, a little over a year in Iceland. You name it, all over the world.
So you used to share that with your wife
And many times, we never had coordinated travel going there. We always come back together. You see, she spent 3 years in Austria. That was the best 3 years of our total service together. She was spent a little over a year in Japan. In fact, I was in a combat division that was headed for Korea, and she had an emergency come up with pregnancy. If it hadn't been for our middle daughter, the 3 girls and 3 boys we were fortunate to have, I would have been on the initial landing, one of the initial landings of the 7th Infantry Division.
So a girl saved you from going into combat?
Yeah, actually did. Yeah.
It seems to me a lot of the Vietnam veterans have a lot worse mental trauma from being there, and I think a lot of that has to do with how they were treated when they came back.
Yeah.
Most of the World War II people seem really well adjusted.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you right
Fortunately,
now,
you don't
this
see that in
evening,
Vietnam.
being very honest with all of you, I have talked more about all of this evening than I have in the past 10 years. And it's an honor to do it, especially the youngsters here.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, you.
The newspaper, did it get real popular when you got back from?
Tell you, I'm proud to tell you, we were in every newspaper in the United States, all of the United States. We were on a radio broadcast. It was called Report to the Nation. Every Friday evening, they dramatized our escape for 30 minutes on the radio show. That was on another one where I won $100 in New York City.
John?
Are you going to tell us the names of the books like you said that half an hour you would?
Yeah. You want to tell them the name of the books
Oh,
that you have?
yeah, sure.
My dad's got hundreds of books on World War II, but he brought some that are still in print.
Yeah, all I wanted to point out is that if you wanted to read up on the subject and see a lot of pictures that go along with it, which, as you know, pictures are worth 100 words. There's 2 books that are still in print, and this is a 24-volume encyclopedia, and it's all illustrated, which means it has pictures as well as discussions of those pictures. And this is 24 volumes, and then there's no pictures in this one. This is not an illustrated book, but this is written by Tom Brokaw, who is a current newscaster on one of your major news stations. They're excellent. It's excellent reading, and it's a good subject. And it sort of goes along with what someone just said about the Vietnam War versus World War II and Korea. World War II and Korea were very just wars, and Vietnam was as well, but it didn't get the recognition back home in the United States that the World War II.
By the way, you can never win a war starting at the 50-yard line either. Think that one over. You gotta be able to take the whole place. They didn't allow us to bomb the Vietnam capital.
My great-grandfather was in World War II, and he's still alive.
God bless him. Is he still in the service?
No,
Yeah, that's right. We're all getting quite old, buddy.
Okay, why don't you 4 kids in the front row ask one more question that we have to
All right, I'll start here with you.
Where's Okinawa?
Okinawa is an island close to the Philippines.
It's in the southern part of
It's the
Japan.
southern part. Yeah.
That's where karate comes from.
this medal has 2 little plastic stars.
Oh, the stars means 2 campaigns. Each star means a campaign. In other words, like Rome War, no, that's European. That shows I fought in Europe. That green one has a lot of green in it. And those 2 little stars show that you were in 2 campaigns in Europe. The one down at the bottom there on your
Let me take a look at it.
left-hand side, that's the occupation wall. That shows the occupation of Japan and this is the occupation wall. This was the ETO with the 2 stars in there. This shows 2 different campaigns. This shows I'm still active in the Army Retired Reserve. Believe it or not, they would still call on us.
When they call you
Back
back,
in Kaiserslautern.
what would you tell them if they called you back?
I'd be ready to go.
All right.
I tried to go when my 2 sons were, both sons didn't have to be fighting in Vietnam at the same time. There was a thing that they stopped it. They didn't want 2 of the same family.
Right, yeah.
But they were in there their own request. I put a request in after convincing Sally that I had 2 sons over there. I was ready to join them. And I got the most beautiful, highly flowered, sweet weather you've ever seen in your life. Just sit back and cool it. If we need you, we'll call on you. You've done enough already.
Okay, Brittany,
How many wars were you in?
how many wars were you in?
I was in World War II. Son was in, the 2 sons were in Vietnam. My grandson was in Hannibal. I was actually in the service during World War II, Korea, and got out just when the Vietnam War started.
Okay, last question.
Or
We'll do
just
you 2.
before it started.
Go ahead.
When you walk in, a lot of people ask for your autograph, like shake your hand and stuff.
There were times when that happened. There were times when that happened.
When the Germans captured you, they give you any medical attention? Yeah.
Can you say it louder, because we can't hear you up yet?
When the Germans captured you,
Oh, pardon. I'm sorry?
when the Germans captured you, did they give you any medical attention?
medical attention, very slim, honey, very slim. But I was held in a cell in an Italian prison for like 3 days before they put us on a train. This was to go through the Brenner Pass up into Munich, Germany, southern Germany, where the first prison camp was.
How long were you in captivity total before you escaped?
Let's see, July, approximately a year altogether.
Okay, guys, I know you have a lot of other questions. Major Schildt's already said he's got some other memorabilia that he might be able to bring back some other time. If you have any other questions you'd like me to ask him, you can ask me in class. Hopefully you're even more excited about history than you were before. But we're going to end with a little presentation from the dojo. So, Cheryl, would you please come up? Thank you very much.
Cover on that.
Present you with one baby.
I'll take her.
We would like to present you and your wife with honorary black belts in Kosher Shoyu-Ryu. This is for your warrior. I mean, the idea is that I can't give you a medal, but to me, the main thing that we teach here, Jim, is warrior spirit. The idea to rise above an occasion and do what you got to do when the time calls you to. And I think your wife has, that's right, you said it perfectly. I think your wife's done all that as well, being your support system. I know my wife certainly has done an awful lot for me to be able to accomplish the things that I have. And so we have certification for both of you, traditional Japanese certificates as an honorary black belt for both of you. And although you probably won't wear the other ones, we're going to give you a couple of black belt keychains with them so you can have those. We have, can you hold those for a second? We have 2 belts. The first one is the belt that you wear for swordsmanship, and that one's yours. The second belt is the one that you wear for Kempo, which is the study of the empty-handed martial arts, brush calligraphy, swordsmanship, traditional oriental medicine, philosophy, and everything else. So we'd like you to have both of these and our gratitude.
I tell you, my friend, I really need this. You don't know what this means.
Thank you guys.
That was a long class.
I tell you,
Kids.
this means as much to me as that silver star did, folks.
Well, I hope you're, I know you're,
Really mean that.
I know you're away from your family a lot of years, and I hope your kids appreciate that all of us Americans, if they don't know, have a little bit of an idea what kind of sacrifice they went through and appreciate it. So we're going to
Well, I
get
tell
them
you,
all
as long as I always keep to see what I see right in front of me, our country will never, ever have to worry about one person death. We got it all right here.
Right.
I'll drink to that.
Oh boy. And running home with mom and dad and all that, and all your family. That's it. Number 1 in the world. There's never been a service person in any war fighting like the American did. They're independent, they're taught how to think on their own shoulders, and they're just absolutely outstanding. When the chips are down, there's always somebody that can lead too. There's never such a thing as no leader. Okay?
Okay, a bunch of the kids wanted to ask you for your autograph. Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay.
Any other guys want to get your autograph or a picture with Major Jim? Come on up here.
Back.